Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lost-Plaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are you doing tonight, guys? It is late. It is late. And I am sorry for that. I wasn't, I was going to plan... Well, I was planning on being on earlier, but things just didn't work out right. Doesn't really matter because we're here now. We are here now. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. We've got a little bit. I got to move over just a hair. We got a little bit of a show, I guess, tonight. I actually don't know where I'm supposed to be. Where are we in this frame? Okay, I think here's good. We got a little bit of a show tonight. I don't know. I was like, well, I should probably go live. Like, I should probably do that. It's been kind of a sparse week. Look at all those smudges. they are there. I keep forgetting to wipe them off. I keep forgetting to do that. But it's been kind of a sparse week on going live, so I wanted to just do a show. And I don't have like a ton prepared, but that doesn't mean much. Calm down. Calm down. That doesn't mean much because we're going to get to Twitter in a little bit. And when we get to Twitter, there's no stopping the idiocy. There's no stopping the lunacy. Justin Amash alone. Justin Amash alone is the source of much consternation. And so we need to do that. We need to talk about it. I'm really pissed off reading through some of these people talking about the Fourth Amendment. There's a huge decision out of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals today. Immigration is the topic. Immigration. 2026 is a year of immigration law. So I apologize if you're bored of it, but there's more. There is more. I like this. I was actually going to get to bed at a normal time. Nah. Nope, you're not. You're here. You're stuck. You're stuck. Welcome. Welcome. Immigration is the mantra. We have a massive federal push to correct some long-standing illegal immigration that's been lingering around and just undealt with. Yamaha Biker. Yes, I've spoken to Leslie, and I have not spoken to Leslie and Michael. She had asked if I can speak to both of them prior to doing a show. I'll see if I can get them on the phone this weekend. Oh my goodness, we got to turn this banner off. This banner is very misleading. Nothing has happened yet. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It's like we don't even have a show going at the moment. So anyway, that is on the menu. It is on the menu still. I think there was a miscommunication. I had heard that they said they weren't going to do the show, but I think that was because I had said I was going to call them, and then I kind of ghosted them, but it was an accident. I didn't mean to. So I think they thought that I had canceled it, but hopefully we're going to work it out. I had a nice conversation with Leslie on the phone, and if we can work something out, we will. We will. We have kind of a sad day in one way here. Brad Arnold is the lead singer of Three Doors Down, and he passed away today from cancer, which sucks, I guess. Is my sound a little low, or is it you? It's probably me. Just a second. Just a second. I'm telling you, Windows likes to manually adjust down your volume. Although it's not doing it now. It's your fault then. It's just you. Do better. Do better. I can actually maybe bring this up a little bit. I don't know if this is helping. Whatever. Anyway, Brad Arnold passed away, and I didn't know this guy or anything, and I'm not like a stalker fan of his life or whatever, but I liked his music a lot. I think they were doing USO tours at the time when that was needed, and they really were there for the troops who were over in the Middle East. And they showed up, man. And that's something pretty cool to do. Touring artists have a lot of options on how they want to do things, and to show up and do USO shows and to go over to maybe a not super comfortable location, perform for the troops who've been giving up their time and their blood and everything for the country and for its goals. Again, there's plenty to criticize about U.S. policy in the Middle East over the past couple decades, but this isn't about that, right? Like, because it's not the soldier making those decisions. Let's see, here we go. Yeah. Emmy says, "Here Without You" has been my husband's song since Iraq. Great song, great band. Everything is, but everything comes to an end at some point. The crazy thing is how successful they were on their first album, and the other albums never really caught up to that first one. First one went 7 times platinum pretty quickly. Kryptonite's a banger song. Here Without You. And what's the other one? They had another one on that album that was When I'm Gone, right? Like all 3 of those were absolute bangers. They still are. And I think it's just anytime a celebrity dies, we should all clap a little bit. It's like, finally, that guy got taken down a peg. But and most of the time, you pull up like Wikipedia or an article about them, and you can read about their life. But then you get down to that one section, you get down to controversy or criticisms or whatever. And the crazy thing is, if you go look at his page, you get early life, career, personal life, health, and death. That's it. There's not like a massive Me Too thing. There's nothing like controversial about like the production of their music, or there's no IP controversies or anything like that. It just seems like a guy who did the work, who by all accounts loved his family, and it was just there. And now he isn't. And you think of all the people who you're like, man, I got a list of people I would trade. Yeah, it's not my time. That's a good one. Was that, I think, I said When I'm Gone earlier, but I think It's Not My Time is the actual title of the song. I think that's the same song. But either way, it's like I got a list of people I would rather see go than that guy. And again, I didn't know this guy. Like I'm not like some student of his life or whatever. But he had some music that hit me in certain ways at very particular times in my life. And so like I just wanted to say a few words and And, talk about the character behind the leading man, and by all accounts that I've seen, he was a man of exceptional character. And he's a reminder, should be a reminder to any of us who are looking for a little bit of inspiration to go, hey, I have a circle. I can influence that circle, and I can do it well. I can do it positively, and I can do it by just doing what I do. I can do it by just doing the things that I know how to do, the things I am trained to do, the things I've practiced, and the things that I am passionate about. And if you do those things, you impact the sphere, the circle, whatever you want to call it. Like, it depends how fat you impact that circle around you. And that is what you're trusted with now. And it may grow and it may shrink over time, but you should always aim to just do you within the circle that you're given. I like this one. Where we go? No. IB Blanny says simp. Yes, we are simping a little bit. Sometimes, it is merited. So I hate being on YouTube a little bit because it's like you can't, we could do like karaoke or something of Three Doors Down, except it'll get all just fucking copyright struck to hell. So this is pre-recorded tomorrow. It isn't live. That's true. That's true. We've got a couple super tips to start off the show. It's like I didn't have the AC on in my office. It's 1 billion degrees in here, which is a little rough. Let's see. Just getting my windows in order. All my chat windows and my pornography windows and all that stuff. That's a joke. You guys would see that in my glasses, I think. We could try it. Let's see. Pop out chat here. I gotta pin the super tips link. I am waiting for Melton and Moody to unleash the next super tip feature, which is, I'm really looking forward to it, is super tip images, where if you guys want to send in an image to the show, you can do that through super tips, and we'll be able to pull it right up on screen. So that should be fun. I think that's coming really soon, but it's not here. It's on Melton's show. That nepotistic monster has his own show, have all the cool stuff. But Mersh has it. What the fuck? Wow. All right, well, now it's a fight. But anyway, we do have this super tip came in Thursday. I guess technically Friday morning, the Thursday night show, right at the end, and I missed it.
This is Gino's voice. I think it is broken. Literally, his and his wife's voices are still recovering from literal rape.
Whoa.
Did you hear the Pope said it's cool and funny and virtuous to joke about rape? And Miguel dice in shares.
This is Gino's wife, and I think my voice is broken too. Oh, also, what Gino said about the Pope and rape is so true. I mean, this is America, and if a joke requires rare, then rape away. Nah, but yeah.
She mispronounced rape. She said rare. That was weird. I don't know what the context of that is, but those super tips really seem to like rape. They seem to be into that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the fuck that was, but it was something. Glad we did that during the, right after kind of saying nice things about Brad Arnold. Yeah, he was a really good guy. Hey, let's play this super tip. Rape!
You took a shower and you didn't even text me? Are you even the degenerate you claim to be? You called yourself a fag dad and you've clearly changed.
It's true. That's true. I don't know if I have your phone number to text you, but like next time I will. Like, holy crap. I didn't mean to let you down. Rita, how you doing? Hola, Rita. Nice to see you tonight. How is it going? Okay, Miss Divine says, oh my God, I'm here late as always. How's everybody doing? You're not that late. We've only been going 16 minutes. We've only been going 16 minutes here. So you're not late. I am. You don't get to take that from me. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. And yes, Turd Burglar says vertical stream. Nice. Yes, there is the option to vertical stream. I don't know how you switch between them, but it is there. It's a new thing that YouTube allows you to do where it broadcasts to both vertical streaming if like you're scrolling through shorts or whatever, you can pop into it, or the regular landscape. And it does them at the same time, right in YouTube itself. StreamYard did it for a little bit, but it would make two streams, which is a disaster. Audrey Little says, rest in paradise, a beautiful soul. Bede Arnold. I think you mean Brad Arnold, but Bede Arnold is also, he was the Native American version. That's true. Wusha Games Central says, in memory of Brad, was your favorite Three Doors Down album, minus 17 Days, very underrated? You know, I'm only really familiar with the first one, honestly. Like as far as if you, I'm sure I've heard some songs from the other albums, but the first one's got the the most of the real hits that they had. And I'm kind of like, I'm basic. I'm telling you, I'm not. Three Doors Down had a kind of a. I don't want to get into where specifically, but it had some really personal impact on me, throughout the years, including pretty recently. And like I said, that's for me. We don't need to get into it too much, but I'd be lying if I said that I was some like student of them or anything. I really like Kryptonite and Here Without You and the other one. What's the other fucking title? We just talked about it. Gin Lemon says you need image tips stat. Yeah, no kidding. I know. I want them. I don't have them. I don't know why. What is it? It doesn't. My like dashboard doesn't have it. Let me see. Maybe it's something I can turn on. See, voice tips, text tips. No, they don't even have image tips for me. Just complete racism. Just a bunch of shite. Not even allowed. Oh, I see the image platform fees, but they don't actually have the images available. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. Voice tips would have us all saying, why are you gay? Not true. We have voice tips. Those have been around forever. Laserbeam Hawkins says, thanks, Nick. Once again, you've lifted my spirits. Truly, the Emperor protects. Oh, I did? I thought I was kind of being morose and somber. Maybe you have some sort of odd fetish. The Indomitable Green Skull says, Duncan MacLeod, super tip, smug voice, please. That's true. That's true. Gin Lemon says, lame. I know. Should I message Moody right now? Message him. Ah! What the fuck? I don't want that. Hey, homie. How I get them image tips? Rubs hands. I don't know what I have to do to get those, but I've sent it to Moody, so maybe they'll pop up at some point here in the next couple years. John Jelaine 7100 says the Jax doesn't care about your pronouns. Did you just quote the Mortal Kombat 2 movie at me? Did you do that? Was that then? The Jax doesn't care about your pronouns. Calm down. You know what you have to do, Nick. Well, no, I don't. But I want to know. I want to know. You want images of tips? No. Wiggy IRL says, yo, Rakeda, let me in that chat. I don't know what that means. What do you mean by that? You can get into the chat. All you have to do is like, you just pay money and then like a super tip comes out. Oh, I got to put the super tip link up. I got to put the super tip link up. Oh my gosh. My job is difficult, guys. It actually kind of is at this time of night. Like, I thought about going to bed and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like we got, why would you go to bed right now? Here we go. So there are, super tips are available. Of course, we have a couple of those. We have a couple super tips on the shelf. You guys can check out the inventory and, get them while the supplies last. They kind of go quickly and stuff, but I pinned the messages in both of the chats. You're burning a new cutting board at the moment. It says, cut my food into pieces. This is my chopping board. Cut my food into pieces. Oh my gosh. That's pretty funny. I like that. The fucking Papa Roach cutting board. Okay. All right. This is I'm going to start getting into this Twitter stuff, but we can take it nice and slow today, guys. We don't have to. I don't have a lot of an agenda. I don't know how long we're going to go. I don't know any of this stuff. Like and you guys are free to derail this show. There's no, like, I'm not like, hey, I really got this excellent show format today. And like, if you guys fuck it up, like, actually, no, that's true. If you guys keep screwing up my show, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know even how to do that. Mickey Bitsko says, talk about your billionaire maternal grandparents. My maternal grandparents were not billionaires. That would have been cool. If I had any link to a billionaire, the amount of chaos and fuckery I would be up to is incalculable. Incalculable. If I ever get a chance to have $1 billion, I better be dying. Like, I better be 85 years old and unable to move, because otherwise I've got cool plans.
Wouldn't a Papa Roach cutting board just be an emo kid's wrist?
Yes. Yeah. What in emo adults' wrist? I don't know if emo kids even know who Papa Roach is anymore. They had to do the remake, like from Ronnie Radke, Falling in Reverse, which is good. That's a good fucking mix. I love it. I love it. Aaron C, speaking of love, gifted 1 membership Oh, man. That kicks it off. The seal is broken. The seal is broken. We have one member here on YouTube, and that has been gifted by Aaron C. Thank you so much for that, Aaron. And if you happen to be the person who got the gift, looking at you, Michael Treese, make sure you say thank you.
Rackets. Your legal issues hit me hard. My mom died December 6th and had drug issues. I'm glad you beat that. Jeff and you inspired me to get my channel going. Too bad I got started too late.
Why do you say you got started too late? You're not too late. You're never too late. What are you talking about? You should be hitting on the nurse on your deathbed, man. Like, you are not too late for anything. Holy shit. Oh, hey, here we go. Let's do this. I forgot I turned up the volume on Super Tips. I didn't mean to. Conservative Thought says, dude, I remember him. What happened to that white Korean? Jeff passed away, unfortunately, in December 15th of 2024. So, yeah, he unfortunately is no longer with us. He is no longer with us. Where is Silicon Player says, Ricada Law, I just want to hear you explain how a warrant is defined as something other than a judicial device authorizing the executive to search, seize, a separation of powers at 1776. Well, we're going to look at the Fourth Amendment. I think that'll be the first thing we need to do. I say the first thing, but the first thing is actually to pull up this guy, this motherfucker who has been consistently pissing me off lately. Where are we? That's not the tab I'm looking. This one. Here we go. Oh, let me do this first. Hackamania is coming up April 10th through the 12th, Las Vegas. If you want to meet me and hang out, Hackamania, April 10th through 12th. Promo code RL. Go to hackamania.com to buy your tickets. It is in Las Vegas. It is at the Plaza Hotel. I think there's a block of rooms, maybe not. I don't know. But it's at the Plaza Hotel. There's going to be show after show after show. All different kinds of shows, largely centered around this thing called the Dabbleverse, which, there's been a little bit of we've shown a little bit of the Dabbleverse stuff going on, but it goes beyond that too. There's some people you may be familiar with. Carl from Who Are These Podcasts is a big part of the show. Patrick Melton is a big part of the show. Like, they put on the show, so like they're important, I guess. And then Carl has his cadre of people who are out there. Melton has Moody. There's going to be any number of other smaller creators as well. I think every creator is literally smaller than Patrick Melton. So, but you guys can come out, hang out. If you want to come, like I said, you want to come meet me, I'll be around the whole time, talking to people, laughing, watching shows, maybe participating in shows. If they do karaoke and stuff, I'm going to be up on the fucking stage again because it's so much fun. I love doing karaoke. But also, it's just a good time. It's a lot of comedy shows, a lot of weird stuff going on, a lot of smelly people. Like, it is what it is. It is an invitation to the internet to show up, which means deodorant is often absent, but it's still worth it. It's still worth it. And I strongly recommend you guys come come? Can you come here? I'm not even there yet, so you can't be I mean, you could be coming, but you know what I mean. You should arrive in Vegas around the same time I am there, and I'm at your service. Whatever you guys need. The only thing I can't do is provide you all the drugs or whatever. But if you need advice on how to ruin your life, I can do that. I'm really good at that one, and I'm happy to share information on how to do that, just in case you don't know. Bone Surf says your sunglasses are smudgy. Hand this guy a wipe. I know they are, and my all my sunglasses wipes are upstairs. I have a tie. I have a shitty tie. We can do that. We'll use this. This is like sacrilege. I'm going to use this America tie. Look at this thing. I still love this stupid tie. I got it at Goodwill for a couple bucks. But yeah, we will. You're right. It was smudgy. I forgot. I meant to do that the other night, de-smudge them, but then I forgot to do that. And I mostly forgot because of Black History Month, if we're being honest. Come on. Get out of the way. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's better, less smudgy. We'll ruin everything as we go. Tammy Fayette says, hi. You said that yesterday or Thursday. Hi. How are you doing, Tammy? Nice to see you. Dragonfly 3312 says, I remember you giving recommendations for skillets and knives. Could you repeat those? Sure. Just a second. First, I have to recognize Jenny LJ dropping 10 gifted memberships in the chat. Oh my God. I was not expecting that at all. Jenny LJ, thank you so much bringing your beautiful members to the chat without their consent. And that's the way we do it around here. No consent for the wicked. No consent for the wicked on dropping your members anyway. Everything else. Everything else. We definitely do. Okay, so I'll just pull them up. Meson nitride carbon. Okay. Here are the pans that I am currently using, since people are asking about it in droves. We have these. These are from Meson is the brand. You can see it up here in the top left. And these are carbon nonstick frying pans. They have an 8-inch, a 10-inch, and if you're daring, they have a 12-inch. Notice how they look the exact same. Effectively, the picture's just like zoomed in a bit. Unironically, like the most versatile pans I've ever used. I have a giant, I have cast iron. I have stainless. I have some cheap non-sticks as well. I have other carbon steel pans. Nothing even comes close to this. I have a titanium pan. Nothing comes close to these. They're the best fucking things I've ever cooked on. They heat up really fast. They heat up really hot. They can go in an oven up to 1100 degrees, which is hotter than most home ovens will get by a significant amount. They're naturally nonstick. There's no coating. There's no chemicals. It's just how the steel is treated with a nitrogen isotope, and that for some reason creates a surface that it starts off kind of nonstick. It becomes more and more nonstick as you use it, and this is actually true. I can verify this. As fat kind of gets, it kind of makes an even layer across the surface, similar to cast iron. It kind of seasons itself as you cook. So just get yourself some nice steaks and stuff like that. Cook them in there a couple times, and you are running like this nonstick. You can use metal utensils on it as well. They will not. I mean, I think eventually you could scrape it. I haven't tried using a knife on the. Some people like cut stuff in the pan. I don't know if I'd do that. allegedly you can, but I'm not going to try it. But you can use metal utensils. I use a metal whisk. I've made, gravies and stuff in this thing. They're honestly the best pans. They get really fucking hot. Like you want a good sear on your steak. This is it. They're 3-ply. It's basically 2 layers of steel. And in the middle is a layer of aluminum. Aluminum transfers heat laterally across the pan really, really fast. And so you'll find a lot of aluminum core. If you think you're not cooking with aluminum or whatever, if you're using 3-ply stainless steel, you are cooking with an aluminum core generally. And that's why your pans heat up quick. Steel is actually kind of really shitty at transferring heat and does not heat up very fast. But that aluminum takes care of that. And they're super light as well. One of the problems, of course, if you have little bitch wrists like me, and you can have a cool cast iron pan, but you're not hauling this thing around and flipping stuff. These are very lightweight, but they're very sturdy. So anyway, that's my sales pitch on the Mise pans. All 3 of them, $350, worth every fucking penny. Every penny. And they're not sponsoring this show. They should be. Look at this. See, MQ's like, just learn how to season your cast iron. No, I have a seasoned cast iron pan. It's fine. These heat up so much faster. The problem with cast iron is you get your cast iron nice and hot. It's beautiful. Holds its heat pretty well, except where your steak goes. It actually cools down really, really fast. And it doesn't hold its heat as well as you think. These motherfuckers do, and it's beautiful. Okay, that's that. As far as knives go, I use, I'll pull them up. I don't know if I recommend these. They're amazing. I love them. They're expensive, though. Okay, so I use, let me find, I use Shun knives, okay? I'm trying to find the line of them that I have, which is... by series. Holy fuck. I think it's a premiere. Yeah, here's the... Okay. So I have a set of these Shun knives. They're Damascus. They're Damascus steel, Japanese knives. Japanese knives are really, really sharp, and the steel is really, really hard. The trade-off is that they can be a little brittle. If you're not careful with them, you can chip the blade. If you're looking at German steel like Wusthof, or American steel like J.A. Henkel's, they are not. The angle isn't as steep on the blade, so they're not as sharp. And they're still very sharp. Don't get me wrong. They're not quite as sharp as the Japanese blades, but they're a little bit more forgiving. It's a slightly softer steel. They lose their edge a little bit faster, but you can restore them really easily, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are phenomenal knives. I love them. They're really expensive though. Like a full block of them is like $1,000. You don't need those knives in most kitchens, but they're really pretty, and they're really, really nice, and they maintain really, really well as long as you take care of them. So those are the knives I use. Look, you really don't need to go crazy on knives. I bought a full knife block because I cook a lot and I like them. They're also a nice design piece. But really, all you need is you need a chef's knife, like a boning knife and a paring knife, and that should get you through almost all the cooking applications that most people have. And so you can do that. You can get a chef's knife, a boning knife, and a paring knife for about $200 from a really nice set. Either again Wusthof, even Shun. If you get them on sale and stuff, you can get those 3 knives for about $200, and you're like 90% of the way to a complete kitchen knife experience, and you take care of those 3 knives, and they'll take care of you. So I don't want to sit and oversell like, oh, you need all these things. You don't. You really don't. unless you do a lot of butching. John Jelaine says, did KJB say anything about Black History Month yet out of her motor mouth? I don't know. Katanji Jackson Brown Jackson. I think it's KBJ. I think it's Brown Jackson. Jackson Brown being he's a folk, American folk rock singer. Okay, Miss Divine says, wait, so Dabbleverse is not a convention of like-minded consenting adults who dabble in the verse. Wow, glad we cleared that up for a friend. I mean, it's just an orgy. It's just an orgy. That's all it is. What is this? What is it? I'm sorry, Wildling Soul. You are not allowed in here unless you are being groomed. You said you're not being groomed, so you are on thin fucking ice, okay? Okay? You better learn how to get groomed because I cannot abide non-grooming in the chat. Just disgusting. Just disgusting. Do we need a license for them knives? You do if you're in England, yes. Divining Rod says, countertops are the perfect height. If you know, you know. It depends on the countertops. Depends on the countertops. All right, let's start into the legal stuff here. By the way, you guys have already, you're wonderful. You make this streaming gig so fun. So just like, we're sitting here in the middle of the night and you guys are like, oh, here, I'm going to send in super tips and stuff. Okay. I'm with it. I love it. Let's make fun of people and have a good time. Do hand jobs and whatever. Hold on. I'm arranging my windows just a little bit differently, and then that should be better. Holy shit. Holly Movie Star. It says, so is tonight's topic always have a lawyer present? That's just true in general. Turd Burglar says, oh, no, I'm not even supposed to read this. The government will get me. So while the fake outrage, are we going to pretend Big Mike doesn't look like an ape? I saw Trump talking about that. So basically, Trump put up a post on Truth Social. There was a video that he posted as part of it, and apparently like the last half of the video has the Obamas as apes or monkeys of some sort. And they asked Trump about it. He's like, I look at a lot of things, many thousands of wonderful things. I looked at the first part. The first part was good. The second part, not so much. Apparently, whoever posted it didn't look at it because they probably would not have posted it. It was fucking funny. It was really good. But yeah, so, but everybody's freaking out. They're like, Trump's the most racist person ever. It's like, well, I mean, he might be, I don't know, but I don't think so. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Trump is racist? Also, should everyone be racist against this dork? Look at that. Oh my God. Imagine this guy was coming into your geometry class. All right, guys, we're going to do some proofs. No. Ew. How do you say something like that and make it gross? You be Justin Amash. He's an Orthodox Christian. Do you guys know any Orthodox Christians? I do. My friend is an Orthodox bishop. And I've gotten to go to an Orthodox wedding. I think I was at it. I think I went to his daughter's wedding. I feel like I did. Whether I did or not, I feel like I did, and that's enough. But I got to go to an Orthodox wedding and an Orthodox service or two. It's pretty cool. It's a little bit different. Very heavy on like iconography and stuff like that. Of course, Protestants are all like, "You're sinning," because icons and idols and stuff like that kind of bother them. But everything in the Orthodox Church is beautiful. It's like this wonderfully decorated, elaborate, ornate, reverently treated everything. Like the walls are plated in like gold and stuff. And the Bible that they use, the thing looks like a fucking Warhammer 40K tome because it's made out of metal and it's cool. It's very, very cool, very different from, I go to an evangelical covenant church, which is a evangelical branch in kind of localized to Minnesota for the most part. But an evangelical covenant church, I grew up Catholic. I've been to Lutheran and Methodist churches and stuff, and Orthodox churches are way different. Very, very interesting, very beautiful. And, there's something about reverence to the things you believe in. Deke Ed, member for 6 months. Thank you, Deke Ed, for sharing your 6-month membership announcement. Very, very cool. Do y'all speak in tongues? No. Let me qualify that a little bit. Actually, this is not true. I don't go to an evangelical covenant church anymore. I used to. I now go to something called a recovery church. That's incidental to my other issues. Like that's not because of that. It's just, but the recovery church does, they actually do focus on recovery, and they have a 12-step program and all that stuff in addition to their regular church services. So that's where I go now. But that's very similar to it's an evangelical branch of Christianity. It just has maybe a little bit more of an open door policy towards people who are struggling, if that makes sense. What was that question? I was like, speaking in tongues. No. The Assemblies of God Church is Pentecostal, and the Pentecostal churches, they do a little bit more of the speaking in tongues. I say no, but I don't think speaking in tongues would be unwelcome. I don't think it would be unwelcome in our church. It's just not as common as you would find in a Pentecostal church. So no. I say no. Personally, like, I'm going to say it. I have the gift of tongues, and it has nothing to do with church. So, but, they talk about it as a spiritual gift, the gift of tongues, and then someone else will have the gift of interpretation. And those two spiritual gifts work together to bring a message, apparently, of the divine into existence. The word of God is spoken. That being said, it's one of those things that I've always been kind of like skeptical of. It's not my style. Again, I was raised Catholic, so pretty reserved on those types of things. They don't do it for me. I've been to a couple of churches where like people go up and explain their visions and stuff in the middle of service, and I'm like, can we go? Like, don't you guys have football to watch? But I don't mind, like, and I don't necessarily doubt or deny that people have visions, but there's just so much temptation in a church community to build like some sort of clout off of these things. I'm skeptical of everything like that. But it doesn't happen too much in our church. Our church is usually just kind of standard. A preacher gets up and he delivers a sermon. A couple other people come up and assist with doing prayers, and they have music and stuff like that. And then that's everybody goes home. You get some coffee and some hot chocolate, and it's great. The thing about our church is very hospitable, very welcoming, intentionally so. And that was really nice at a certain time in our life. Fletcher Boy says, fashionably late, ambiguously gay fee. Thank you. So I've had this jacket for a while. I've worn it plenty of times. This is a Hugo Boss jacket that I got from my dad, who he like got it for one event and wore it. And I was like, Dad, that's a Nazi jacket. That's funny. He's like, what? And so I told him like Hugo Boss, and I was like, okay, this joke is not good because I'm explaining it. So that wasn't fun. But I've had this jacket for a minute, but I found this shirt the other day. It was a Hugo Boss shirt, and that goes with it. So I was really happy about that. I know you guys care. Deke Ed says late and meh gay. Meh gay? Damn. No collection plate. Excuse me, sir. This is still an American Christian church. There's definitely a collection plate. There is definitely a collection that goes on. All right. Okay. Let's talk about Justin Amash. That was a whole tangent on Orthodox Christianity. He's a Heikian individualist. He should just write pretentious on there, I think. Libertarian, Republican, constitutional, conservative, classical, liberal, member of Congress, 2011 to 2021. He's got a mantra here, like we're playing fucking Fact Xanadu. Follow the Constitution, read the bills, stop governing by emergency, end the forever war, cut taxes and spending, stop borrowing trillions, no CBDC, protect free speech, repeal the Patriot Act and FISA 702, no qualified immunity for government officials, and civil asset forfeiture. This is a good list. This is a good list. The problem is this guy's a fucking idiot all over the place. And it drives me crazy. So let's talk about this. House Speaker Mike Johnson thinks ICE should be spared the hassle of getting a judicial warrant before forcibly entering private homes. Now, this has been a hot button topic. This has been a hot button topic because everybody goes, when you go into your home, you need a judicial warrant. You notice something, people keep saying judicial warrant. That's a new word for a lot of people because they used to just say a warrant. You say a warrant, but we've got this new thing going on with administrative warrants. And we've talked a little bit about them, but we're going to talk more. Justin Amash says the Constitution isn't optional. That's true. You're right. It is. You could leave the country. See, this is crazy right here. The Silicon Players says that's because everyone understood warrants are judicial. And everyone misunderstood warrants being only and exclusively judicial because administrative, statutory, and executive warrants have existed for quite some time. Believe it or not. Administrative warrants are not new, but most people don't know about them because, we don't talk about them in popular media, etc. But we're going to talk about them now. So it's supposed to be, this is amazing. The point of the Fourth Amendment's warrant requirement is to hassle the government. That's not true at all. And he says it's supposed to be difficult to search or arrest people. This is not true either. That's not a bug. That's a feature of our American Republic. Sounds good. Sounds great. Sounds amazing, but it isn't true. Let's just go ahead and pull this up because everybody needs to be reminded what we have. Now, he's sitting here. The point of the Fourth Amendment's warrant requirement is to hassle the government. No, the point of the Fourth Amendment's warrant requirement. Well, let's just pull it up because the Fourth Amendment is actually two ideas crushed together, and it's because they couldn't agree. All right, and some of our Constitution exists because they could not actually resolve a conflict, so they just fucking wrote both of it down. And this is one of those instances, and you can see it in the sentence. Here we go. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Now, two things are happening here. See, Silicon Player, like, are you Justin Amash? He says, Yes, the point of the Fourth Amendment is to limit the government, to harass them when they want to do something unreasonable. That's no, it really isn't. It just says that they're protected against unreasonable searches and seizures. That protection shall not be violated. Now, it also says, this is where the break is, and no warrants shall issue. So what we had were two camps at the founding of the country, the drafting of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And we had two camps. One is this reasonableness camp, and the other is the warrant camp. Each of them became entrenched in their positions, and they became unresolvable. The Silicon Player says, I'm just a guy who doesn't like people getting their home searched for coke without good reason, requiring a separation of powers before a search. Yeah, and for the most part, I agree with you. For the most part, I agree with you about a search generally requiring a judicial warrant. Yeah, of course. Of course, it's a good system to do that. Now, why do we have it? Why do we have that? Why do we have that? Okay. Because any search is presumptively unreasonable, the warrant itself creates a path of reasonableness. It overcomes the presumption. If you notice, I've been talking a lot. When I talk about law lately, I am talking about presumptions, overcoming presumptions. I'm trying to get people to understand the perspective matters. Where do you address the problem from? Do you come at it from behind, give it a little bit of a surprise, but make it like it? Or do you come at it from the front? There are, like, in how you approach the problem, really dictates the answers that you get. But let's take a look at this. It's very important. Angel, the Aussie. How you doing, lady? Member for 38 months, says, Nick, for my birthday, fucking 45, I would like an age shaming, please. Thanks, mofo. Looking good too. Well, Angel, you send a lot of gifted memberships, and you send a lot of membership chats and everything, and I really, really appreciate it. I always see your picture, and you seem like a very, very lovely lady. Clearly, that picture was taken a long, long time ago, probably on a Polaroid or something like that, when you were actually young, maybe, before your bones creaked when you just thought about moving. You ancient lich. You time-abusing monster out here believing you could just keep on living longer and longer and longer and letting your mental faculties and your physical prowess just wither away in front of all of us. Disgusting. I can't believe you would do this. I can't believe you go on. I don't know what the option is. Certain options I can't say on YouTube, and I don't encourage them. I mean, I just figured you'd let time catch up at some point instead of running off into the future, aging away. Aging away. You have so much to offer the world. As a young person, now you're like, no, I'm going to retire from being useful. This is disgusting. I don't even know how to deal with you today. I think I might take up ignoring you for the stream. Angel, I might do that. When is your birthday? Or did it already happen because you just let it go? You didn't even fight it. You didn't even try. Wow. Talk about accepting defeat. What, at some point you're probably just going to die, right? Like you're just going to let yourself go that hard? Australians have no tenacity. Okay, so here we go. Back to this thing. Thank you, Angel. Happy birthday, girl. Always a pleasure having you in the chat. I will ignore you, but always a pleasure having you in the chat. Thank you for bringing other people memberships and all that stuff. All right. So back to this. We do have two camps. We have reasonableness and we have warrants. Reasonableness, any search of someone is presumptively unreasonable. So then you have the warrant requirement. The warrant requirement is built out of this other camp that says that warrants overcome the unreasonableness just in general. However, we did have this problem in the past because warrants could just be issued with basically nothing. Now, no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. And this is where we start to get a little bit of a divide in what's been going on lately. Judicial warrants are traditionally used to overcome the unreasonableness presumption unless you have an exception to the warrant requirement. And there are recognized exceptions: hot pursuit, exigent circumstances, plain view, the moving property exception, which covers cars, for example, or U.S. postal mail, things like that. So you have these exceptions to the warrant requirement that exist, and they as long as you still have probable cause, you need that probable cause still, the warrant can be obviated by some other means to get past the unreasonableness. And this is where people, I think, get confused because they tend to believe that, as Silicon Player has been kind of laying out here, judicial warrants are the way we do this. And they are a way that we do this. But since we have other exceptions to the warrant requirement that are out there, we have to consider the possibility that those aren't the only exceptions, and they're not. And they're not. But it all depends on what the purpose is for. And this is the problem we're getting to again. It's not supposed to be difficult to search or arrest people. It's supposed to be open, documented, and reviewable. Those are different things. It's really easy to get a search warrant and to get an arrest warrant, so long as you've developed probable cause. Those things are simple to do. You bring your probable cause statement. You make your statement on oath or affirmation, as stated in the Fourth Amendment, typically before a magistrate or a judge, and the magistrate or the judge will issue the warrant, and you'll go do it. You prove out your probable cause, and they go, okay, well, you've got the probable cause. Here's your permission slip. Go get it. Perfect. And that is a fine system. But that system is about bringing your probable cause to someone for some level of review. But the level of review is not difficult, and all kinds of deference is given to the officer making the statement because it's made under oath or affirmation. And cops don't lie under oath. It's they're clinically and genetically incapable of doing so. So that automatically works like 99% of the time. But we do have the exceptions that were mentioned before. But there is another thing going on here. And this is where there is no more purpose for any of that nonsense. The speaker, Mike Johnson, talking about ICE, is talking about ICE using administrative warrants. It's Form I-205. It's Immigration Form 205. And it is an administrative warrant, and it can be signed even by an ICE officer. However, we've covered this on the show. We're going to cover it again. This warrant only allows entry with two conditions. First, you have to have a final order of removal already. That has to exist. The second thing is the residence that is being searched solely for the arrest of a person who is overstaying after a final removal order. It has to be that has to be the primary residence of that person, not someone else. You can't use an administrative warrant on my house to come in here and like look for Juan or Pablo. Like, you can't do that. Even if you have the final removal order and you think they live here, you can't do that because it's my house. I'm an American citizen. You don't get to use an administrative warrant there. Where people get confused in this is they're like, you can't, they have Fourth Amendment rights and you can't enter their house. Wrong. Wrong. First of all, you can actually, you don't always need a judicial warrant for an arrest. That's a big thing. Administrative warrants are not for a search. They are for an arrest. The administrative warrant particularity requirement is already fulfilled in the final order. It's already gone through that judicial process. People are saying it's an administrative warrant and it's different than a judicial warrant, but the judicial warrant in and of itself is largely completed in that final removal order. It's just a final hurdle of saying, there they are, let's go get them. And again, there are rules around entering a home with one of these administrative warrants. It has to be the home of someone who's on that final removal. But let's walk through what has happened. When you have that final removal, your Fourth Amendment rights are over at that point. They were already exercised. They're already done. You are going to be seized if they can get their hands on you, and then you are going to be removed. You're not going to have your liberty deprived, except maybe temporarily, a temporary detention while you wait for your plane or whatever, but you are gone, and you should be gone. You're done. You've exhausted already your waste of American resources to assert somehow that you shouldn't be removed, despite the fact that you either overstayed an expired visa or you came here and evaded inspection and submission to Border Patrol and, immigration enforcement at the time of entry. If you evade those things, you gotta go. What are we talking about? We're sitting here talking about like, oh, we gotta give Fourth Amendment rights. No, they already got it. They've gone through an entire process. They got their due process, their Fifth Amendment right. These non-citizens who have expressly avoided the legal system that they're now employing to assert some sort of right, they've expressly avoided that legal system. We still give them rights. We go through the process. We decide, okay, after all of this work, now you have a final removal order. Now we go, all right, an administrative warrant is sufficient to go into the house. It is not sufficient to conduct a search of the house. They can't go search for evidence of a crime. This is not a criminal act. This is not a criminal remedy. All right, sorry. Let me go back. It is a criminal act, but it's a civil remedy. It is a criminal act to be here unlawfully. However, we don't resolve it criminally, because to resolve it criminally would be to deprive someone of liberty or property. And we don't want to do that. We don't really fucking care. Get them out. That's what we want to do. We don't want to keep paying for people to be, to stick around in our institutions or in our social systems. I like this. Miss Femnatel, deport the IRS along with all illegal aliens. 100% agree. 100% agree. But here we have due process being done. Here we have the Fourth Amendment already being taken care of at the prior stages. They're no longer being seized for the purposes of the Fourth Amendment. They're being seized for the purposes of removal. They don't have a right to be in this country anymore. They never did. They never did. But for some reason, we keep having people insist. No. We have to recognize their right. We did. It's over. It's over. They're laying on the ground. The boxing match is finished. Apollo Creed is dancing around the ring, man. Yeah, Michael Trees, we know. Come on. Come on. This is Optimistic Realizer says illegals don't get Fourth Amendment rights. Justin Amash is retarded. That's not entirely true. But remember, this is all in reasonableness. Let's take it out of the context of illegal immigration, because that's an easy one. In prison and in high school, you have full Fourth Amendment protection. And yet, if they want to search your shit in prison and in high school, they need barely an excuse. Barely an excuse to do so, because they have an institutional interest in prison, in preserving a safe incarceration environment for the rehabilitation of the prisoners. And in high school, they have an interest in providing a safe and effective learning environment to the benefit of the students. And anything that they can justify as far as there's a potential disruption to either of those environments, I'm sorry, like, you have a Fourth Amendment right, but it doesn't matter. It's from a Cracker Jack box at that point. They don't care. Same thing with your free speech rights, right? Like, you have full First Amendment rights in high school. Try going in there and say fucking Jews. Like, see how long you get to say that without being suspended or disciplined in some way, specifically over your speech. But that's because they have an interest in promoting a learning environment, and that type of language is disruptive to the learning environment, even if it is an overtly political message that is protected speech. Disruption to the learning environment trumps that. But you still have your full First Amendment rights. Illegal immigrants have their full Fourth Amendment rights, but it is their full Fourth Amendment rights. And they are lesser. They are substandard, we'll say. Because it's a fucking gift. We don't have to give any right to someone who has shirked our entire legal system. We don't have to recognize any sort of right or protection or anything for them at all. We choose to do so. We choose to give them some sort of thing. Well, we can't do this. But there's a big difference here that is confusing people also. We haven't done this doesn't mean we can't do this. And there's a big confusion going on, because there is a lot of stuff we haven't done for decades now. That's within the law, within the removal process, within the investigative process. And we're going to read about it in just a second in this Fifth Amendment case, because it's really amazing. Fifth Circuit case is really, really amazing. And it's right on point with this type of stuff. But we do have a recognition of Fourth Amendment rights for unlawfully present people. They're just not the full rights that a citizen gets, and they shouldn't be, ever. Like, I don't get why people are confused about this. Yeah, Silicon Player says, ICE admitted the facts that I stated, which I don't know where those are, prompting the memo that says administrative warrants are allowed for illegals, which is what's at issue here. Yes, and administrative warrants are allowed for illegals. The real question that you have as far as a judicial warrant being required to effect the arrest of someone who's under a final removal order is, what is the purpose of having a judge do it? What is served at that point by having a judge do it? Because the probable cause that's needed is the final order. That's it. There's a judge, there's a final order for removal, and the judge will go, here's your arrest warrant. Like that's that. Do we need that interaction happening between an ICE agent and a judge? And the answer is, of course we don't. Of course we don't. But people read judicial warrants into the Fourth Amendment, which is, hold on, I'm going to get, let's get this pulled up real quick. People read it in there, and it drives me fucking crazy. Okay. I think I gotta find it real quick. Silicon Player says, we don't need a warrant for arresting illegals, in my opinion, but we do need a warrant to search a home. But see, they're not conducting a search. They're not conducting a search of the home. They're conducting an entry to the home. Specifically, they're not allowed to search. They are allowed to, and this is this is an interesting caveat to those administrative warrants. They are allowed to seize anything under the plain view doctrine. They're not allowed to conduct a search, which I know may seem silly because it's kind of like a search, but it has to be plain view. And plain view is really, really well rounded out. If you go back through Supreme Court jurisprudence, they can't move a stereo, they can't move a box, they can't open a bag. Plain view literally means plain view. Is it out? And importantly, with the administrative warrants, they can seize any notoriously and obviously illegal material under the plain view doctrine. However, I don't believe that can be used in any sort of way as far as, evidence of a criminal act. They can just seize it because it's contraband. You're not allowed to have that thing, so they'll take that thing away. But that's it. These are not criminal charges. They're not going after people with what they're grabbing or what they're finding. Where is... Okay, where? I'm trying to find a specific tweet, though, that I was replying to. We're going to get... Here we go. Judge Napolitano. As some of you guys might like this guy. I don't really care about him. But I don't hate him or anything. Brian Dunham. Nick, what are your thoughts on middle school protesters? I mean, that's a tough question because I don't know exactly what you mean. Silicon Player says, but entering a home is a search, whether for a person or for an effect. And I don't know how else to say this. I don't know how else to do this. My man, it is not a search to enter a home for the purposes of retrieving someone with a final removal order. It isn't. At that point, it is just an arrest warrant. You can say it's a search of the home, and let's just take a peek at the Fourth Amendment real quick, and it's fine. You're actually welcome to having this opinion. I'll disagree, but let's do this. Here we go. So no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation. So you still have to have these. Particularly describing the place to be searched, they actually kind of skip this, and the person or things to be seized. We're going to go into that house and grab this guy who has this final removal order. There's no purpose to have a judicial warrant at this point. They're not going in looking for drugs. They're not going in looking for guns. They're not going in looking for trafficked people. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to go in and grab someone who has a final removal order. That's it. And so do we have probable cause? Typically, they actually know that that's the person's address because of the court process. Is it supported by oath or affirmation? I know because of the court process and the final removal that this is the primary residence of so-and-so. And particularly describing, in this case, the person to be seized, which would be Juan or Pedro or, I can't pronounce anything with clicks in it. If it was Somali person, but they have that, they have this, because again, they have that final removal order. So I know people get hung up on this, and believe me, I don't like the government. I don't want them to have, unlimited power. But this one is silly. This one is them going into the home of someone who needs to be removed. And by needs to be removed, I mean, they've got an order on it. They've had their opportunity to be heard. Everything is exhausted.
Thanks for reminding me the falling in reverse cover exists. That shit slaps harder than me with my fam. Micro peen, micro effing peen.
You just gotta now I feel like you're ham fisting that in there. And I believe in you. I believe in you. I'm okay with it. So this is crazy, but a final removal order requires a search for the person. No, it doesn't. What are you talking about? There's no search necessary. If someone's in there and they know they're in there, you just go get them. Requires a warrant to enter a home. Yes, an administrative warrant. Where is judicial in the Fourth Amendment? It isn't there. There's more than one way to get a warrant. And just because you have not been exposed to those ways does not mean that they do not exist and have not existed for a long time. I know it's tough. It's tough because you want the government to have a little bit of a stumbling block, as you mentioned before. But wait, before we get into this, let's take a moment and read this. We need a degen right movement. I don't care if some guy snorted coke with college girls. In fact, if more right-wingers were willed to power, coke snorters instead of finger waggers and rule followers, I probably wouldn't have to worry about getting murdered by communists in the next few years. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now it's fine. I'm so fucking mad. Alex Scott Thompson, what's up? How you doing? How are we doing? Shit, I left my vape upstairs. I'll probably go grab it in just a minute. Okay, so yeah, the kids protesting. I'll look it up in just a second. I haven't heard about it. But this pissed me off right here because everybody's like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe cocaine and being cool is awesome.
Did someone say ham and fisting?
I'm in. You got to put the apostrophe. He's Canadian. He doesn't know how to pronounce words. American words. Sorry, that wasn't a slam on Canadians. Just that one. We'll look up the kids protesting in a minute. I don't know the story, so I don't want to talk about it. This just pisses me off because everybody's like, oh yeah, no. Yeah, cocaine and sex is cool again. It's like Anyway, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
An administrative warrant is very much like a general warrant, which the British used, which was one of the main.
This is what we call a lie. Judge Napolitano right now is going to lie. He's going to lie about administrative warrants. He's going to lie about what's going on right here. Austin Peterson, of course, very high-ranking in the Libertarian Party. He ran for president or whatever. Follows me because he's based and Rekieta-pilled. I, of course, follow him back. He's, let's see. Are administrative warrants constitutional? Yes. Yes is the answer. They are. Judge Napolitano argues they conflict with the Fourth Amendment requirement for judicial warrants, which isn't in the Fourth Amendment, probable cause, and specific targets. Where should courts draw the line? Guess what? The courts don't really get to draw the line here, and it may actually be a separation of powers issues. But find the word judicial in the Fourth Amendment and then get back to me. Just to be clear, Austin Peterson did like this post. He took it in the proper context. I wasn't trying to be a dick to him. Just Napolitano. Oh, okay. The echo. I'll fix the echo. Sorry. John Jelaine says, is there a test judges should have to take to reaffirm their worthiness annually? Yes, they should be forced to grab the blessed silver knife in the bottom of a vat of boiling oil. Yes. Okay, so here we go. Back. We'll start it over because it's only 6 seconds in before I got pissed off.
An administrative warrant is very much like a general warrant, which the British used, which was one of the main.
Again, this is just a lie. This is a lie. The The administrative warrants that they're talking about have a specific person that's listed and a final order is attached. Judge Napolitano is just, he's like, oh no, it's like the British general warrants. I don't know if he's retarded or if he's like lying on purpose, but this is not true. And this is frustrating.
Main impetus factors behind the American Revolution. British soldiers knocked on doors, searching for whatever they wanted to look for and seizing whatever they found because they had a piece of paper issued by a secret court in London, which was a general warrant.
That's not an administrative warrant. It's certainly not Form I-205. This is completely different. We don't need dishonesty to have these discussions. We don't have to do this. We can say, here's what an administrative warrant is. Silicon Player is doing a really great job of saying, I don't like these. I don't like these at all. We should have, judicial review. It is a separation of powers issue, and it's a checks and balances issue because without the judicial aspect of the warrant, then the executive is able to just run roughshod over whoever they want. They can write their own warrants. Now, again, the fact that administrative warrants can be signed by an ICE agent doesn't preclude the fact that they've been used in a similar way. The only thing they haven't done with an administrative warrant is said you can go inside of a house with just an administrative warrant and a final removal order. You have to have that final removal order. But that final removal order is where, that plus INS versus Lopez Mendoza, which we read the other day, or read part of the other day. When you combine that and you say there is no remedy for an unlawful arrest of an illegal alien who is subject to removal, then they effectively just don't have a Fourth Amendment protection in their own body. And they don't. And why would they? Think through the remedy. Okay, we go into this guy's house and we arrest him. He's got to go. He's got a final removal order. We bust into his house. We arrest him. He's got to go. And you go, no way, you busted into his house. It's like, he can't have that. He's illegal. And if we release him, like we pull the hook out of his mouth and we release him like a bass onto the streets, he's committing a criminal act right now at that point, and will be until he's arrested again. How long do we have to wait to arrest him again? How long do we have to entertain this fiction that, some right was violated and now he doesn't have to follow the immigration and naturalization process that everybody else does? Why? Because we looked in his house? Like, what is the remedy? What is the remedy? If there is no remedy, there is no right. And that's hard for some people. They don't like that. And I get it. But, what do you want? What do you want me to do about it? And what do you think? How do we word this? Again, what do you think is supposed to happen if you have that situation? They're supposed to be gone. This isn't the beginning stage. All the beginning stage is similar. This isn't the beginning stage. This is the end. They need to just go. They're supposed to be on a bus. Grifty says, why are the libertarians following Chase Oliver's lead and being total fags lately? Them and the moral fags are why I'll end up in a Democrat gulag. See you there. Well, we'll be there. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. Silicon Player, this doesn't affect citizens' homes at all. So you don't have to worry about this in the slightest. If they use an administrative warrant and breach a citizen's home, everything they recover is fruit of the poisonous tree, excludable. It's all subject to the exclusionary rule. And that person, like, don't get me wrong, your life gets kind of turned upside down for a bit and stuff like that. But citizens are protected. You cannot use an administrative warrant on a citizen's house. Can't be done. All right, back to this nonsense.
The Fourth Amendment requires that life, liberty, and property can only be interfered with a judicial warrant.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. Look at this guy. Oh my God, he's a ghoul.
Which can only be based on probable cause of crime.
Nope. This is weird, man. He's adding words to the Fourth Amendment that aren't there.
And must specifically describe the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. If you look at an administrative warrant, it'll say, go to a car wash and bring in people that speak Spanish.
Nope. An I-205 has to be particular to the person you're arresting. Stop lying.
Or that don't speak English. Well, that's a general warrant. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
That's a fantasy.
But that's what these people are using. Has the Supreme Court ever upheld administrative warrants? No.
Really? That's weird. Let's just see. I don't have my good... Abel versus United States, 1960, established that administrative warrants for the arrest of deportable aliens are valid, recognizing a long history of such executive authority. Regulatory inspections, Marshall versus Barlow's Inc., permitted administrative searches by agencies like OSHA for inspections, provided they are not for criminal prosecution. Oh, wait a minute. That's two right there. That's two administrative warrant cases that have gone through the Supreme Court and they have been upheld. This guy's a fucking moron. Judge Napolitano. He was like what? He was a New York. He was like a New York State judge, at the district court judge for like a year or two, and then he was a Fox News personality.
The government is bent over backwards to keep these cases from getting to the Supreme Court for fear that it will invalidate them.
No. Considering they've been good since 1960 and 1968, and they haven't invalidated them yet. I don't know why you're talking about this. Why you're just making shit up?
Various federal courts upheld them. Yes, but those courts are wrong. These are a profound violation of the very reason we have the Fourth Amendment.
That's Abel versus United States, U.S. Supreme Court, decided March 1960. Held petitioner's claim that the administrative warrant under which he was first arrested was invalid under the Fourth Amendment is not properly before this court. So it was not made below and was expressly disavowed there. Let's see. Oh, maybe they didn't uphold this one. Let's go to that one. Let's read this section. Maybe I'm wrong. It's happened before. The defendant argues testimony establishes that the arrest was made under the direction and supervision of the FBI, but the evidence is the contrary. See, it should be somewhere in here. $66 fucking, oh my gosh. Let's see. Question 1, whether the Fourth and Fifth Amendments to the Constitution of the United States are violated by a search and the seizure of evidence without a search warrant after an alien suspected and officially accused of espionage has been taken into custody for deportation pursuant to an administrative immigration service warrant, but has not been arrested for the commission of a crime. Let's see where we go with this. 7 items all at the time of his administrative arrest. Okay. Let's see. Noted that determined on petitioner's administrative arrest as a preliminary to his deportation. This is very exciting, I know. The underlying basis of petitioner's attack upon the admissibility of the challenged items of evidence concerns the motive of the government in its use of the administrative arrest. Claim ensure that the government used this administrative warrant for entirely illegitimate purposes, and the article seized as a consequence of its use ought to have been suppressed. Were this claim justified by the record, it would indeed reveal serious misconduct by law enforcement officers. The deliberate use by the government of an administrative warrant for the purpose of gathering evidence in a criminal case must meet stern resistance by the courts. But of course, that's not what they're doing now. As we discussed, they're just grabbing someone for removal, which is not a criminal remedy. The preliminary stages of a criminal prosecution must be... See, this is the other thing here. The government has lots of civil shit that it does that feels criminal, right? Like an OSHA violation, if you're the guy who owns the company, feels criminal because you're paying a fine and stuff like that. But administrative warrants are used to inspect these sites all the time. Administrative warrants are used in other capacities, in regulatory capacities with civil infractions and civil remedies, because they're not sitting here looking for criminal evidence.
All hail King Grifter. It's officially my birthday. And saw you were streaming, you actual criminal, still suspended, mildly pretty micro peen guy you.
Wait a minute. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. What is this shit? Micro peen. You know what? You're not supposed to tell anybody what's been shared between us, okay? You're not supposed to do that at all. That was to that guy in the purple. Happy birthday, jackass. Happy birthday. Is that still really loud? Sorry. I can turn that down. I thought I had it turned down. I can turn it down more. Hold on just a minute. Just a minute. Volume mixer. Can we just, there we go. Let's try that. Let's try that. Here we go. This should be better. I'll replay it.
All hail King Grifter.
This should be better.
It's officially my birthday. And saw you were streaming, you actual criminal, still suspended, mildly pretty micro peen guy you.
Price Casey says, good to see you around again. Good to see you around again, Price Casey. Come around more often. Why did I say that sensually? Let's see. At worst, it may be said the circumstances of this case reveal an opportunity for abuse of the administrative arrest. But to hold illegitimate in the absence of bad faith, the cooperation between INS and FBI would be to ignore the scope of rightful cooperation between two branches of a single Department of Justice concerned with enforcement of different areas of law under the common authority of the Attorney General. So let's see. We're still not, let's see. Nor does it taint the administrative arrest that the FBI solicited. Wait, what is this? The Constitution does not require that honest law enforcement should be put to such irrevocable choice between two recourses of the government for contrast to proper cooperation, blah, 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 blah. Boring. Oh, I thought it was going to be something better there. We emphasize again that our view of the matter would be totally different had the evidence established or were the courts below not justified in not finding that the administrative warrant was here employed as an instrument of criminal law enforcement to circumvent the latter's legal restrictions rather than as a bona fide preliminary step in a deportation proceeding. Test is whether the decision to proceed administratively towards deportation was influenced by and was carried out for a purpose of amassing evidence. See, so here we have Abel versus United States, and the court has no problem at all with the idea of an administrative arrest. None. They got no issue with it in the slightest, so long as it is not a pretext. So long as it is not a pretext for a criminal action. That's the trick. Administrative warrants are not for criminal purposes. They have a lower standard. Just like, any civil action has a lower standard of proof than a criminal action. That's how it's always been. It also does allow the government to get around some things. Trust me, if you want to know how this works, just go through the family court system or like the juvenile protection system or whatever. They fuck you over all over the place, and it's civil. So you don't have the protections that you have in a criminal case. You don't have them. And what do you do about it? Deal with it. You just got to deal with it, because the remedy of taking your children isn't a criminal punishment to them. That's it's not that at all. Of course. Like, why would you think it is? Why would you think them taking away your children based on allegedly criminal activity would be a criminal thing? I don't know. That's very dumb of you to think that. But the government doesn't think so, and it asserts the opposite. Ask for a jury. You won't get one. They won't give you a jury on those. Okay, here's what I need to do. I need to go get my vape and another beverage, because I am this Coke or cola was delicious, but not quenching. So I will be right back. I've been specifically requested, and I will do this today, to play the peeing lawyer song. Okay. So I have been requested to do that. I'm going to do that right now. Don't leave. We're not done. We're not done. We got other stuff to talk about and stuff. I don't know exactly what, but we've got other stuff to talk about. So don't leave just yet. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. Yes, I'm playing the pee song. Don't go.
He drank a fair bit and then realized that his bladder can't handle the liquor inside, leaving us with his chair while he runs up the stairs, hoping the stream doesn't suddenly die. While we are waiting, we'll be laughing at you. The drinking along is what most of us do. The chat is united, getting excited for what you have for us when your being is through. When you have a small bladder and no sphincter control, freedom of the liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Now you're washing your hands and you realize that you've forgotten to scrub both the front and the back. Then you'll grab a quick bite, kiss your lady goodnight, and remember to thank her for all of the snacks. Whoa, water will cure your hangover. Oh, drink some when the stream is over. When you have small bladder and no sphincter control, freedom of the liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Soaking your drawers. He drank a fair bit and then realized that his bladder can't handle the liquor liquor inside, leaving us with his chair while he runs up the stairs, hoping the stream doesn't suddenly die. While we are waiting, we'll be laughing at you. The drinking along is what most of us do. The chat is united, getting excited for what you have for us when your feeling is through. When you have some letter and no sphincter control, freedom of liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Now you're washing your hands and you realize that you've forgotten to scrub both the front and the back. Then you'll grab a quick bite, kiss your lady goodnight, and remember to thank her for all of the snacks. Whoa, water will cure your hangover. Oh, so drink some when the stream is over. When you have some letter and no sphincter control, freedom of liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Soaking your drawers.
Sorry about that. I'm back. I can't find mine. I had to steal Lady Rackets as she's sleeping. She doesn't even need it. She doesn't even need it. Oh my God. Plus, if she wants to fight me over that vape.
Thank you, swing.
Good luck, woman. Look into your pocket. My pocket has a wallet. My other pocket has a phone. So it's not those. You know, here's the funny thing, Miss Femnital. I don't remember that at all. I had no idea. Inside jacket pocket, that's headphones. And the other side has nothing. No, I think they might be it might be in a different jacket. I don't know. Might want to check your anus. I don't feel anything in there, but that's kind of like normal these days. I got this this monster. Clean your glasses. I did that earlier. They're fine now. I think, well, they're a little smudgy. Too bad. Too bad. Thank you. Endless. Thanks. Man, I still think back to that. I don't remember most of that stream, but I think back to that. That was something. I don't even know how to describe it to people who like don't know. Elemental MJ has rated the stream. Is it Elemental Marijuana or Michael Jackson? I'm not sure which one it is. Billdozer 74 over on Rumble says, rated you like you were an innocent Asian village. Call me Genghis Khan. Follow my channel if you want, y'all. I talk about stuff and things Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 p.m. Central. Nick is gay. Be well. That's Billdozer, guys, over on Rumble. I don't know if Billdozer, do you stream on YouTube also? First you steal her sunglasses, now her vapes. I know I have I have 2 pair of her sunglasses right here. Come and get them, Lady Rackets. Come and take it. That's my next tattoo, I think. A come and take it tattoo. I figured it should be like, I was going to do like the come and take it cannon, like here, and then like shooting out the words, come and take it down my arm, which is cool. But I think I should replace the cannon with a baldo, like, but backwards. I think I should do that. What do you guys think? Think that'd be good? Wear that to church? Grifty says you describe it as a K-hole, numbnuts. I describe what is a K-hole? Oh, the stream. I wasn't on ketamine on that stream. No, I was on ketamine after that stream, which was a mess. It was a mess. That's how I got my black eye. But that was no, that was not while on stream. Billdozer74 says, I do stream on YouTube as well, just not on Saturday, as we do a Dozer Den DJ hour. I like that. I'll take your cum tattoo would be more fitting for rackets. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There are people out there just trying to grab that stuff left and right. You got to watch out. That stream, you were blacked out like you were sucked into a black hole. So I had 3 glasses of whiskey, probably a little bit more than a shot in each one, within 20 minutes of starting that stream. I think it was. I'd had, 3 glasses of whiskey. And then I went back and watched someone who like counted up all the drinks. They weren't entirely correct because they were counting my sweet tea, which was just sweet tea. They were counting that. They thought it was like a beer or something. But I do believe I had about 20 shots of liquor on stream. And I think all of that was before going to the bathroom. It was a fucking disaster. Oh, man. Now here's this one. Crow Crocs. Do you regret ruining your life because of drugs? Well, I might disagree with your premise. I don't think my life is ruined. It's still pretty sweet. So, also, no. And that may be hard for some people to deal with. But if you live
Don't you dare steal my tattoo idea, asshole. You already stole my wife.
If you live in regret over your past, then you're a prisoner to it. You're a slave. You're a slave to who you were, but you're not that person anymore. Like you've necessarily come out of it with, with the experience of going through it. Now, how you apply that is different, but I don't really know what you want me to say on that one. I don't see my life as ruined. I have my family. I have this wonderful job here that I get to do. It's a lot of fun. And I don't know what else there is that matters. I have my purpose in life, I guess. And then I have my family. Is it another part of the purpose in life? But like my career purpose and then my family purpose, they're still around. So I know they're supposed to hate me and stuff, and I'm sure like I've ruined all of their lives or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But okay. Billdozer says only 3 away from 1,300 followers here on Rumble, including user profile and channel. Bam, you rock, Nick. Fuck the haters. Hey, thanks, man. Hey guys, go check out Billdozer on Rumble. Give him a subscription or a follow or whatever it is, so he gets he can get up to his arbitrary 1,300 number. That's pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool. But I don't mind, man. Like, I know some of you guys in the chat are like kind of going after them or whatever, and kind of get frustrated with people asking the questions. Like, some people are dicks about it. Don't get me wrong, but you know, some people haven't had the opportunity to ask me about it, and that's fine. It's okay. I don't mind. I know what I did and what I went through, and everything's gonna be okay. We're all gonna be like, you know, we're all gonna be just fine. I think people just really get into, maybe it's because the eccentricities or whatever, and the kind of lunatic characters of people on YouTube generally. Maybe that's what causes people to like really get kind of worried about how things turned out. But you know, I don't know what to say to people. They'll what is that? Dom Lucre posting. Why would you post this? I see these things on Instagram all the time. Holy shit. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Let me turn up my screen for a minute. That was wild. That was wild, and that wasn't what I was expecting. How can you get a job like that? You have to be in pornography. Like it's a lie. That's a lie. The algorithm has your number. Not on Twitter. It does on Instagram is where it tends to feed me just, you know, a parade of bikinied women, which like you kind of get tired of it, but also like you never can possibly get tired of that. So it's like that's like a moral issue. But, let's tackle this. This is, do you guys know who this Scott Greenfield is? Wait, I got to go back to this Grifty thing. Grifty, yeah, no, I wasn't on ketamine on that stream. I would have been completely passed out. I was pretty close, but I would have been completely passed out. That would have been a disaster. Well, it might have been better in some ways, but you know, that was something that came after. That story about where I fell and hit my face is true, and that happened right after the stream. I don't know where I have encountered this guy, like criminal defense lawyer, blogger with a fucking kill me. I hate lawyers. I hate them. They're like, oh no, I'm clever. Stop it. No, you aren't. Blogger at Simple Justice. I'm still not on your team. Oh, okay. Thank God. I don't know anything about this guy, but he says, since its enactment in 1996, the Legal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, the IIRIRA, 8 U.S.C. 1225B1, which permits expedited removal and does not provide for bond, applied only to those entering at the border, not aliens who are living in the U.S. Those who have told you otherwise lied to you because they realize you're not lawyers and won't realize that you're being lied to. Well, this doesn't make much sense because this could apply to what he's saying. Like, so that's not a good thing to say. They are playing you for useful idiots because that's what you want to believe. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's that section. This is all that matters. Isaiah Lamau, why are you whining about this? Holy shit. Are they applying for admission? Cool. Get detained until a determination is made. Are they not applying for admission? Yeah, get the fuck out. You're whining about this because people who are going to be removed get detained pending removal. Dumb. And this is what it is. It's over this thing. Aliens treated as applicants for admission. An alien present in the United States who has not been admitted or who arrives in the United States, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, and including an alien who is brought to the U.S. after having been interdicted in international or United States waters, shall be deemed for purposes of this chapter an applicant for admission. This is critical. So this is critical. Anyone who comes here and has not received a final designation that they can stay is an applicant for admission under the law. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals just held this to be true. And people are losing their fucking minds because now illegal immigrants who have dodged immigration up to this point don't get bonded anymore. So they don't get bail. They can't pay their way and be free. They just get arrested and get held until deport, get out. And they're freaking the fuck out about this again. Again, we're running into this issue. What the hell are we bonding out people who are being arrested for removal? Like, why would we do that? It doesn't make any sense at all. Fletcher Boy says, are you going to stream Corey Riken's trial? It looks salacious enough for us to enjoy. Maybe. I heard some spicy stuff about it. Debbie Baker gifted 5 memberships. Hey, Debbie Baker, I was looking forward. Thank you, by the way. That's really nice of you. We're up to 16 members here on YouTube. It's been a very nice, chill membership night. Debbie, I was looking forward to seeing you and talking to you because you sent me a Cash App. You sent me a Cash App donation, which I really, really appreciate. The other day, I wasn't streaming, I don't think. And you sent it and you said, sent you a message, not nice, but I love you or whatever. And I don't know what I don't know where you sent a message, Debbie. So if I have missed a message that you have sent to me, I'm really sorry. Cash App doesn't let me respond to you with words. I can only respond with emojis, I think. Robinhood US says, how would a bail bondsman recover someone and secure funds from someone who could be removed without judicial branch appearance anyway? Lol. Very good question. Very, very good question. I don't know what these people are thinking. I have no idea what they're thinking, but I do want to take a peek at this. And this is the circuit immigration decision today. Here we go. We'll take a little peek at this. We don't have to go through everything. Hey, what is this? What's this? We have 5 gifted memberships happening here. Fletcher Boy, we got a little bit of a wiggle going on downstairs. Fletcher Boy gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, Fletcher Boy. That brings us to 21 members. Guys, you keep sending these memberships. What are we going to do about that? What are we going to do about that? We have an opportunity to do something, I guess, member-wise. We do need to have a member stream that'll be happening today, Sunday, It will be happening today. We're going to have, I'm not sure exactly what time. I'll try and set it up ahead of time. So there's time for people to come into the show. Here we go, guys. I just want to sit around singing Three Doors Down songs, though. Get more members. Well, it's not up to me. Oh, wait, it kind of is. Kind of is. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hey, guys, I think I have something for you. Just between us. Don't tell anybody. Is that... that's not it. That's not it. Here we go. Oh, here we go, guys. This is for you guys. Boom. 5 gifted memberships coming from me. There you go. I can participate as well. I'll go ahead and I think I'll just go ahead and put that in the old thing. I don't think it counts on. I don't think it counts for any revenue or whatever, but I think it definitely counts as having 26 members for the stream today, which is awesome. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoy that. What's this?
Be honest, Nick, you are really scared of being fat. The drugs were just a weight loss program with benefits.
Damn it, maybe I need to try that.
Oh, damn. Oh, Big Slexy, that was brutal. Yes. Terrified of it. Okay, so here we go. This is a little bit thick, which is what it says to all the girls. But I'm going to try and we'll read through it, and I'll try and explain it when we get to the critical part. We're not going to read all this. It's 43 pages. Now, and part of it's a dissent, but we don't need to go into all of this. The statutory interpretation issue posed by these alien petitioners is novel, but not a recondite. The petitioners concede that they are deemed to be applicants for admission, i.e. aliens present within the United States who have not been admitted by lawful means. 8 U.S.C. 1225A1, 1101A13A, definition of admission. Each of them entered illegally many years ago. As such, the government contends because neither petitioner showed himself to be clearly and beyond a doubt entitled to be admitted, he shall be detained pending his removal proceeding. 8 U.S.C. 1225B2A. The petitioners counter that despite falling squarely within 1225, they're nonetheless eligible for discretionary release on bond during removal proceedings. Section 1226A2, they contend, applies to them precisely because they did not seek lawful admission, according to Section 1225. These provisions were framed by the IRA, immigration reform legislation in 1996, but their interrelation had not been adjudicated until the past few months when the current presidential administration began detaining illegal alien residents, like the petitioners here, for removal proceedings without bond, rather than bonding and releasing them. Good. Good. Again, I don't even really care about immigration enforcement, but can we, if we're going to do it, can we be serious about it? They don't have a right to be here. Zero right. Get out. God, I don't understand. If they were in front of you at the grocery store, you should be fucking angry. If they made you miss a stoplight. So backslash says, so here is what I'm curious. If ICE pays the bail for illegal immigrants, couldn't they just put them into custody and detain them? No. If they pay the bail, they're out. You can't take away someone's liberty once they're bailed out. It doesn't work that way. But bail doesn't make sense for removal. It doesn't make sense. Now, if you've got a removal proceeding and it's looking like it's going to be a year or something, yeah, I guess you have at that point, you go, well, maybe maybe we go ahead and offer them bail so they're not just locked up for a year, because that starts to look like a deprivation of liberty rather than a bus ticket. TBRHT gifted 5 memberships, and so did Grifty. That brings us 10 more memberships all around. 36 memberships so far tonight. You guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I really don't know of other shows that have such a beautifully participatory member crowd. So here we go. These provisions were framed by the IRA. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, after reviewing carefully the relevant provisions and structure of the Immigration Naturalization Act, that's the INA of 1967, the statutory history, the congressional intent, we conclude that the government's position is correct. We reverse the district court's orders to provide petitioners with bond hearings or release them and remand for further proceedings consistent with this opinion. And this is brutal to all the whiny fucking immigration lawyers out there and to all of the people who want to live here illegally for as long as possible. But in the end, this is the only sensible outcome. This is the only sensible outcome. Before 1996, the detention provisions in the Immigration Nationality Act distinguish between aliens who presented at a port of entry and those who evaded inspection. And this is where we come into the biggest problem here that the court has. And this is simple. If you submit to the authority, you got treated one way. If you evaded the authority, you got treated better. That's dumb. That's the worst fucking system I can imagine. Why would you want to do that? Why would you treat people better who evaded your legal system and spit in your face? You don't. You don't want to treat them better. Aliens who arrived at a port of entry were subject to mandatory detention until the conclusion of the exclusion process and cannot request release on bond. In contrast, aliens who evaded inspection and were apprehended months or years later could seek release on bond pending deportation proceedings. In this and other ways, the statute thus afforded greater procedural and substantive rights to aliens who bypassed entry procedures. Right here, we have this is the entire reason. Like, this fucking loser, Scott Greenfield, he's sitting here telling you, well, they haven't done this way before. They haven't done it. Who cares? Who cares? What's the law say? What does the law say? The law says you don't get bond, then you don't get bond. Why should you? Michael Stetson, of course, you can turn off your ability to receive gifted members. So if you don't want one, just turn it off. All good. You think Gouveia still outmembers me? So many jokes about that. I'm gonna start ramming members down his throat. No, that dude just fucking cleans up on live streams these days. Just every time I look at his channel, it's like 7,000 people watching. Like, holy shit, go that guy. He's always been great, though. I really like him. So, yeah, back to this. Here we go. The Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996 aimed to reduce the incongruity in 8 U.S.C. 1225A1. Congress provided for the inspection by immigration authorities of aliens present in the country together with aliens arriving at the border. It provided that an alien present in the United States who has not been admitted or who arrives in the United States, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, shall be deemed for purposes of this chapter an applicant for admission. So what they're doing is they're assuming, and this is actually kind of nice when you think about it. They're assuming, I love this. This is so cringe to continue on streaming after all that happened. Why? You're right. I guess I don't know anything anymore. That's true. An alien present in the United States who has not been admitted or who arrives in the United States, whether or not at a designated port of arrival, shall be deemed for the purposes of this chapter an applicant for admission. He said this is a nice thing that the U.S. does, because what is the other alternative? They're either applying to get in or they're not. So we're going to treat them as they're applying to get in, because if they're not, we have to ask really hard questions about what the fuck are you doing here if you're not trying to lawfully get in.
Your Honor, we object to bail for this illegal on the grounds that they are a flight risk. We want them to go back to the right hellhole, not disappear into California or up Rekida's nose. Monsieur Pin.
Whoa, Monsieur Pin. That's in Spanish, I think. Right. I don't want illegals in my nostrils either. Like, that doesn't seem pleasant to me at all. I don't think so. Flowers in her hair says you don't inhale. No, not all the way. Nicotine absorbs in the orally. It absorbs orally, and what the fuck? So you don't really have to pull it into your lungs, and I really don't like that feeling. It hurts. My lungs are so lame. Dirk forgot I existed till he scrolled through lives. Well, welcome back, man. Have fun. Enjoy. Shit posting in the chat and stuff is fun. So, aliens who meet statutory definition qualify as applicants for admission, whether or not they arrived as a designated port of arrival. Following the passage of the IRA, then an alien status as an applicant for admission does not turn on where or how the alien entered the United States. This is really, really important, again, because it remedies this difference that we had where we go, like if you somehow snuck in, you got treated better by the law. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. Everybody's now treated the same. In 8 U.S.C. 1225 B2A, Congress provided for the detention of applicants for admission. In the case of an alien who is an applicant for admission, which we know is every alien who does not have status, if the examining immigration officer determines that an alien seeking admission is not clearly and beyond a doubt entitled to be admitted, the alien shall be detained for proceeding under Section 1229A of this title. As the Supreme Court has said, Section 1225B2 operates as a catch-all provision that applies to all applicants for admission not covered by subsection B1. Quoting Jennings versus Rodriguez, Section 1225B2 does not include any exception that permits the government to release detained aliens on bond. There is no right to bond. No right to bond at all. And hello, lovely. While loser hate watches and comments on creators, how should you use your life law? Unimportant to me, that question. Welcome, hello, lovely. I was wondering because of, I talked about Brad Arnold earlier in the day, and then I talked about him earlier in the stream. I was wondering when you would show up. Welcome to the show. There is no bond provision for someone arrested under this section. They don't have one. It doesn't exist. They don't need one either. Wait, what is this? Swan Song. Why are you running from Stuttering John boxing you? I'm not a boxer, but I'm not aware of any challenges from Stuttering John. So not sure about that at all. But also, I'm like in my 40s. I don't have a ton of interest in fighting at this point in my life. Under that section, on a warrant issued by the Attorney General, an alien may be arrested and detained pending a decision on whether the alien is to be removed from the United States. 8 U.S.C. 1226A, unlike 1225B, permits but does not require the Attorney General to release detained aliens on bond of at least $1,500 with security approved by and containing conditions prescribed by the Attorney General. So it's permissive to do a bond release under 1226, but they're not arresting under 1226. They're arresting under 1225. 1225 covers every single unlawfully present alien. Judge Maddie, Swan Song Boxing. Have you looked at Nick's shoulders? No, no one has. No one can find them. No one can find them. TBRHC says, I'll fight for you. Yes, I need a stand. Get in there. Get in there. So here we go. Here's this. Because 1226 is not limited to applicants for admission, it also covers numerous grounds of deportability, including for admitted aliens who overstay. And see, this is the thing here. This is a little bit different. Overstay or violate the terms of their visas, engage in conduct that renders them removable, or were improperly admitted. And we should recognize right away that we have different laws for different conditions, different statuses. These people were granted some sort of status, and then that status has now changed. And now they're no longer qualified to be here. Whereas the other people in 1225 had not ever been granted status. That is a critical difference in the application of law here, and why there is a different outcome, a different set of rules for each of those categories. Not all aliens detained under 226 are eligible for release on bond. 1226, sorry. If an alien has committed one of the criminal offenses enumerated in 1226C, he loses his bond eligibility. The Laken Riley Act, enacted in 2025, expanded 1226C. This is that chick, Laken Riley. She was this chick on the bus, right? The white chick who got stabbed in the neck. Is that one? Let's see. Nursing student attacked and murdered while she was jogging. She wasn't on a bus at all. That wasn't that one. Fuck you. Nick's favorite shampoo, Head and No Shoulders. Head and Shoulders. Ah! Wow. Okay. So anyway, back to this. This is the Laken Riley Act, enacted in 2025. Expanded it by adding new bases for ineligibility for bond. Aside from being ineligible for bond, aliens covered by 1226C may not be granted parole under 8 U.S.C. 1182 D5A. From 1997 to 2025, successive presidential administrations and many immigration judges treated unadmitted aliens as being subject to 1226A rather than 1225B2. But in July 2025, the Board of Immigration Appeals decided matter of Yajur Hurtado, which reconsidered the statutory framework and concluded that aliens who enter the United States without inspection and admission are subject to mandatory detention under 1225B2. In reaching that conclusion, the BIA explained that remaining in the U.S. for a lengthy period of time following entry without inspection by itself does not constitute an admission. And I don't know why we have to go through this. I don't know why people like Scott Greenfield here are so fucking dumb that they don't get this. If you evade the authorities and evade the legal system, if you evade all of that You're not admitted. They didn't let you in. They're not like, oh, okay, well, now you're in the country and you belong here. No. Guess what? You never did. You never did. And it's hard because some people like develop these long, they develop life here. They start a business, they start a family, they do all these things. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm going along. I made it. I beat it. And then all of a sudden, boo, ICE comes up. Some retards are whistling in the background, but they come up and they just arrest you. And now you're done. And it's really tempting to say like, wow, that person's life, like they had built a thing and they're entrenched in the community. Get out. Get out. Weeds in the garden are weeds in the garden, no matter how big or small they may be. They are not welcome. There is an opportunity to enter the country in a certain way that would give you status. And if you don't do it, get out. Why are we fighting over this? Why is this still a question? I really don't understand it. Logically speaking, the illegal immigrant is the thief. That's it. Every single moment of their life in which they're unlawfully present means they are stealing. They are stealing something from someone, actually, probably a lot of someone's. Every moment is a moment that they put other people at risk by driving around, by doing whatever, the inherent risk of living and interacting with others. Every moment that they're here is a moment that they might take emergency services or medical services or any other sort of social benefit that belong to an American or someone with permission to be in the country. Every single moment that they're here is a theft of your tax dollars, your labor, and your safety. They just take it. Don't care at all. And it's wild to me that we have people still like advocating, oh, no, we should do X, Y, or Z for them. We should recognize ABC. No, I'm sorry. We don't need to do any of that. We've figured it all out. We developed this system. It started back in 1967 when the Immigration and Naturalization Act, but it's persisted since then. Every single year, barely changing. Congress cannot agree on how to change it. I mean, the only thing we can assume is they got it relatively right the first time, although I think that's an overstatement. But we do have exactly, how do I word this? We have exactly the system that we need to police our own borders and our own interior. And when we come across deficiencies in the system, as we have here, where we go, wait a minute, why do people who got past the system, why do they get to bail out, like bond out? Why do they get to be free? They need to just get on a bus and go away. They were never admitted in the first place. They're applicants for admission. The ICE agent's going to do the interview. They'll do the paperwork review and they'll go, oh, wait, no, you don't qualify to be here at all. Get fucked. And that's all it takes. That's it. Not much you can do about it either. If that's the determination that's made by the immigration officer, you're pretty much stuck with it. And a lot of those people get expedited removal because what the fuck are you doing here? But we have these jokers like Scott Greenfield, Justin Amash, sitting around whining about all this stuff, saying we should be doing something different, saying we should be protecting the rights of someone.
If I built a criminal enterprise over years, would it matter that I got away with it for so long? Like, oh, well, they've been at it for years. It's too late now. No, only Democrats get away with that.
Yeah, it depends how many zeros your criminal enterprise has. Let's see what this guy's got. Like, he's one of these guys, I think, that retweets just a shitload. It's a good day when you've riled up the blithering idiots of Twitter, like the woke gnats. The MAGA gnats swarm when their religion is threatened. Oh, man, this guy's crafty. Travel point luggage. Who cares? What? Okay. Hey guys, how stupid do you have to be to think Muslims are taking over the United States? We are about 1% of the population. Oh, that's what a Muslim would say. Latinos are 18%. You think we about to impose a Shakira law? Yes. His hips don't lie, motherfucker. Women with small asses immediately deported. Mandatory tacos and school lunch. Zayd, you're not supposed to be looking at that shit. Ew. Let's see if we have any. There's a cohort of Trump-loving lawyers who are deliberately misrepresenting the law so that the non-lawyer MAGA faithful will neither grasp nor appreciate the scope and severity of flagrant constitutional violations. This is unethical. I always love this shit because they say this right after like an appellate court decision. Like this is coming with this well, I would assume with the appellate court decision. When was this filed? Yeah, it was filed on the 6th. So here we have the appellate court coming in, Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and saying, yeah, actually, this doesn't make any sense, and we're going to rule this way. And this guy's like, I can't believe these MAGA lawyers are out here convincing people that that's right. Well, I mean, what do you think it's going to, like, what do you think it is? Now, the Supreme Court could come in and reverse them. There's the circuit split on this issue, but like somehow there's a circuit split on this issue, even though the language is really fucking plain. But what do you think this is? Like the Supreme Court is going to come in, and even if they reverse the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, even if they reverse them, it's not like they were overtly incorrect. It just means that the Supreme Court disagrees with this application for whatever reason. Now, we don't know if they're going to do that. I think the Fifth Circuit opinion is good, and it makes sense. The dissent doesn't really make sense. We're not going to go through it all. It's 43 pages. Nappy Soldier says, still on your feet like a rock star from your Vegas DJ. Hey, thanks, brother. Nice to hear from you. Maybe someday I'll get to do another Vegas show. That'd be fun. A couple years from now, maybe. We'll see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, cool. Thanks for telling me. I don't care. Damn, I keep getting swapped to you when I refresh lives. That's because YouTube knows what you actually like, Dirk. Think you still gay. All right. But hope you're doing better than months back when I paid attention. At least look a little better. Hashtag Baldo. No, I'm not. I'm not doing any better. I'm dead, actually. Thanks for telling us. I really appreciate it. It's cool. I'm glad you did. I don't know, man. These weirdo attorneys on Twitter and these just people in general, and it's not limited to the left or right now because libertarians are fucking everything up like they always do. Like they always do. But they're out here confusing everybody, conflating things. They're saying, we need to give Fourth Amendment rights to illegals. It's like, it's not Fourth Amendment rights to illegals. It's Fourth Amendment rights to illegals who are being deported and are subject to a final order. It's way different. It's way different than someone who's just starting the process. Deportation can take like a year unless you get an expedited proceeding. So, I mean, someone who's being deported a year from now is in a different category than someone who's got a final removal order and needs to go tomorrow. right? Like these are different things. And we have not sat around infringing on the search and seizure for criminality purposes rights of illegals through the administrative warrants on a criminal aspect. But here's the thing, they're not, the courts and ICE aren't interested in criminal enforcement here. They're interested in civil enforcement. So they do use these administrative warrants. And it might be a new thing, but it's just synthesizing the status of the Supreme Court and how they've treated the Fourth Amendment with illegal immigrants since 1984, when really going back to 1960s, honestly, but 1984 specifically with INS versus Lopez Mendoza. That's it's kind of critical, you know, like the fact that the Supreme Court has said there's no remedy for this. And people cannot get it through their heads that if there is no remedy, then there is no right. If I say, "Oh, you have a right to not be tortured," and then I torture you, and then you sue me, and I go, "No, you don't get a remedy for that. Get tortured again. You didn't have a right to not be tortured. That didn't exist, or was severely infringed." But if we say there's no remedy because there is no enforcement, then there isn't a right, and that's okay. I know people are kind of uncomfortable with the concept that there are no rights, but I think we need to start reframing the way we look at people who are unlawfully present in our country, because they don't respect the rights that our government recognizes, because they don't respect our government, and they don't respect you or me or anybody else. They have no respect for the system of law that they're now trying to employ to keep them here. And I just can't figure out why we're paying any mind to it at all. Do you have your papers? No. Well, we check our database. Yeah, you don't have any. Go away. Done. This should be so fast. Oh, I have kids. Ha ha. Get them. Grab them. Get them on the bus too. Oh, sorry. Oh, they don't want to go to El Salvador or Ecuador. Well, it's too fucking bad. You shouldn't be here. I'm sorry. Go away. If I wake up naked in my neighbor's house, like, one, lucky them, but two, I don't get to be like, well, I'm already here though. No, you have to get out. What are we talking about? Why is it like this? Families can be deported together. Anyone who, if you are illegal in the United States right now, and especially if you have a couple kids and like a harem of wives or whatever, and you are not abusing that self-deport where you get a plane ticket and $3,000 a person, might even be more than $3,000 a person. If you're not abusing the shit out of that, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I was thinking about it with my family. I was like, man, if we self-deported, it'd be like you get $20,000 and a plane ticket to anywhere on earth. Like $20,000 to buy you a mansion in some of these South American countries, or like Thailand or whatever. And you just wonder, it's like, why? Why is this not more effective? I know people don't want to uproot their lives here, but I'm sitting here going, man, you tell me I can get on a plane with cash and be like, and go back to my home country, or ICE can grab me and fucking throw me in a detention center for a while and then put me on a plane with no cash. I'll take the first one every day. Why is this guy on YouTube? I don't know. We should tell him to stop. Is this a pre-record? Yes, I did pre-record this. If you make $5,000 a month, why? You're talking about people subject to deportation? Because the moment you get deported, you're going to lose that $5,000 a month, and then you're going to potentially run into other issues. And while getting deported, you might get deleted. It can happen. It's been known to occur. You didn't gotcha me, Hamburglar Halper. You can't do that. You didn't catch me. I'm uncatchable.
Bush's best damn chicken with sauce ivoire, fresh veg salad with light rice wine vinaigrette, and Italian avo crostinis. Get on my level, Nickar. DM on X, micropeen. Ronnie O out.
Well, I'll take a look at it in a little bit, Bush, because we are going to wrap up the show, I think. We are going to wrap up the show. I don't know. We did get to 4 micropeens, which is disgusting. Filthy. I think we have, I'm going to double check. I think we had 36 members, which is pretty awesome. Yes, 36 members. That's all you guys. You are amazing. Thank you for sharing those. Thanks for hanging out with me on this late night stream. Sorry, Moot and Hoot. I'm feeling a little bit weird all night long. Aaron C says quitter. It's true. That's true. But we will be doing a members show later today. If nothing else, that's going to happen. And I've got to spend some time getting the member experience ready for everybody. I hope you guys are looking forward to that and will join me for it. The Unbreaded will be a part of the member show. So if you are looking forward to Unbreaded, it will be there. For now, guys, I need to wrap up. I'm getting really, really tired by the second. And so that has to I told you, Wiley Soul, you cannot do this. You got to get groomed. Get groomed. MQ says, when is the lip stuff coming up? We have not locked down a date and time yet, but as soon as we do, I'll be announcing it. Where should I stash the coffee table? I don't know. I don't know where you should do that. Full outro. We'll do that. I wish I could play the Three Doors Down. They should have a rule on YouTube, but when a celebrity like a musician dies, you should be able to play for just 24 hours. You should be able to play all of their music license free. Oh, I guess I should do this real quick. To Brad Arnold. Now, I didn't do a toast earlier, but he really does deserve one. I always feel weird doing a toast of something like Monster Energy, but I believe Brad Arnold was an alcoholic who had fought his addiction, and he won. He carried that flag across the finish line. He defeated the demon that plagued his life. And for that, we should all be thankful a little bit, take a little bit of inspiration and pause. Say cheers to Brad Arnold for the music that you brought, for the emotions and inspiration that you provided to so many people, for the comfort for soldiers and their families, for the good Christian values and fatherly approach to your own family. Right on, brother. Cheers. With that, guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. See you a little bit later. Have a good one. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost explaining tonight. With his microphone muted, this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an ardbeg, a bow, more of that frog. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the deposed on Twitter, as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the deposed on Twitter, as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains